We're on our way to mid-Michigan to meet an RVer who's done a very unusual customization.
We're going to actually meet him at a small county airport near the town of Hastings.
What does an airport have to do with an RV?
And that is what this story is about, and you're about to find out. Gino Lucci is the manager of the Berry County Airport near Hastings, Michigan. He's an Air Force veteran. He lives and breathes airplanes and has been tinkering around with them since a boy. He also loves RVs, and so he put his two loves together into an airplane RV.
I was a little kid, I saw something on TV that I thought was a motorhome made out of an airplane, and I was like, I'm going to build one of them someday. So it took 50 years later, 40 some years, to save up the money and find the airplane. And we were in the airplane parts business, so my son and I saved a lot of unique things, thinking, okay, someday we're going to do this, someday we're going to do it. And then he found the airplane in Missouri with 3 other DC-3s that were in a tornado, and they were on the ground for about 30 years. From there, we started on it. The goal was we put some strong restrictions on ourselves. We wanted to make it drivable in 90 days. That was the challenge between my son and I. We didn't want to start something and have it languish forever. So we were able to drive it in 90 days, but we weren't road legal or anything for probably for about another year. And then we just slowly pecked away at it, and worked on it all through COVID, and 12 hours a day, almost shut the business down so we can complete this. So it was almost an obsession. And then we were able to finish her up, and now we've slowly been refining it, and as we find something cooler, we'll replace it. A good example is like the table here is just, this is out of an RV. It's kind of beat up. But we went to the Air Force Museum and we found the correct colors that were in Air Force One for the days back in the 50s, which is First Lady Pink. So we ordered that laminate, and that's going to be part of the winter project, redoing the laminate.
This video is sponsored by RV Destinations magazine. This is one of the most inspiring magazines that Jen and I have ever read. It is so interesting because it inspires you to go to places that you didn't even know should be on your bucket list. This is like our coffee table magazine. It is filled with just awesome ideas about RV trips that you can take, just being able to get lost in all of the beautiful photographs that they have in here. Now, I know some of you are digital people, and we are too. You can get digital versions of this, and even digital versions of, you can download back editions as well. We want to really recommend that you take a look at RV Destinations. It's put out by a great team. The publishers are full-time RVers. They travel themselves. Now, we can save you some money off the cost of a subscription. Just follow the description below, the link in the description below, and you'll be able to take this home and be inspired to find and conquer new places. Your bucket list, I promise, is going to have some new additions if you start reading RV Destinations magazine.
Okay, I have to ask, what is it like when you go into an RV park and people see this?
It's they're pretty amazed. I don't know how else to put it. Anywhere you go, you know you're going to stop for at least a half hour. And we have a rule that if there's kids that want to see the inside, they will wait until within reason. But it's taken us sometimes up to an hour and a half at a gas station where we'll just give tours to kids. Don't always let the adults in because we want to get the kids through it and get them dreaming and get the ideas for them. So when you go to Walmart, because we run this during the summer at least once a week, we'll go to Walmart or somewhere just to keep it running. It's a lot easier to maintain. And when you go there and you just have a crowd of people, even though we go to the Walmart in the same town, you just have them lined up and people were just asking questions and getting people excited.
So how often do you take this out? How many states have you been to?
We've had it from northern Maine, the most northern part of Maine, all the way down to Texas, the East Coast, all the way over to Utah. So wow. That was the first year.
What is in this? You really have made this. It's not a Class A. it's a Class G for Gino.
yeah, pretty much. Well, it's got a bathtub. It's got a shower. We have the regular airplane bathroom, which is real similar to an RV bathroom. It's everything that you need, the refrigerator, a gas stove. We had a travel trailer, and we took a lot of those items and put them into here. And as I save up money, we kind of make it a little bit nicer, and we modify it. Or if we get something for airplane, like we just purchased some sleeper suites that would go into an airliner, and that's going to replace our 1980s couch. So that'll be replaced to that. The chassis, it's on an International 4300 of 2005. The airplane itself is a 42 DC-3 C-47. It was a military plane, Navy. It was used as a Lend-Lease airplane in South America during World War II. And then afterwards, it had a pretty successful life. And its last mission, if you will, was a test airplane for the FAA. And FedEx had bought it, and they were going to convert it to a freighter. And that's when the tornado happened with this. And there was 3 other airplanes that were kind of all beat up down in Rolla, Missouri.
Tell us about the name of this.
The Fabulous Flamingo. We get questioned a lot on that. So we had to keep it family. I was 25 years Air Force, so there's all kind of names of jets and stuff. But my wife likes flamingos, and we thought, okay, we'll do something with the flamingo theme. The paint scheme is actually from a 1959 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. So that was the car I was going to build until we decided to put the money into this. So we kept the paint scheme. The fabulous part, there was an airplane I liked, and in the 70s they were called the Fabulous Phantoms, F4 Phantom. So Fabulous Flamingo, kind of put them together, and a lot of people just, that's the first words out of their mouth is, oh my God, this is fabulous, this is fabulous. And a year after we had built it, we had somebody paint the nose art on there of Larry the Flamingo, and he's sticking up on the front of the airplane.
What do you do for mileage on this thing?
We really don't talk about that around my wife, but she's not here. So
Yeah.
we can actually get up to 10 miles to the gallon. It depends on a lot of different things, but usually lately she's been running about 8 miles to the gallon. So
You know, you're comparable to some of those Class A's. You know?
I don't have all the luxuries of the Class A's, but if everything's tuned up just right, keep in mind I started the build with 400,000 miles on the chassis. So we're up over 500 and some thousand miles on this now. We wanted everything to be airplane in it. This was surplus Boeing material. These are the original lights that were in the airplane.
What is this?
That's just like a kick plate that they would
Yeah.
use along the bottom. We just put that up there because, I don't know, we just tried it. A lot of what we did was supposed to be like a test thing, and then we were going to go back and redo it, but it worked so well. The downside is the road really, really beats up the airplane. So I was raised a cabinet maker. So like we were, around the windows, everything was fitting perfect. You take it down the road one time and there's gaps and oh my gosh. So we do a lot of maintenance on it to keep it going, if you will. This is the original door, the cockpit door for the airplane. It had like a vinyl on it and we pulled it off and I refinished it. So it has the occupied, non-occupied on there.
You put a black tank in, obviously.
Oh yeah, we got a
gay
fresh
tank.
water tank, 50 water gallons of fresh water, and then we have a black tank. All the things like the clocks and stuff that you'll see, those are all real airplane instruments for the era. And then back here, there you go.
Is that it? This plane flying here? That picture?
If it were together, that's what it would look like, but that's not this particular airplane.
Okay.
And then, as you can see back here, we got a little shower. It works. It does what it needs to do. I just winterized everything. But yeah. So
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Not all the exits work, like the emergency exit over here behind you. So all of those work. And then one of the design features, because you have one door that's not always the easiest to open if somebody doesn't know how to open the door, I made all the windows smaller than the frame so that if you have to, you can't push them in, but you can kick any window out real easy.
The length of this thing?
38
38
feet. Yes, that's what we're gonna say.
38. How tall is it?
It's kind of deceiving, but it's a 12'6" tall.
12.6.
Yeah, so-
38 feet long.
Yep.
Width,
101 and a half.
which is
½ inch under legal. So that was one of the reasons why we chose this airplane in particular. We were looking at a jet before this one, but what we realized was the jet was too heavy and just too high, too wide.
now for air. Look, what did you put in there?
We used this is one of the other drawbacks because you're sealed up in here. So air conditioning is one of my biggest drawbacks driving down the road, but that there of all the different units we had tried, that's probably our 4th generation of air conditioning. That one works the best, just a regular window air conditioner. I could put one on the top, but I don't want to take away the look of the airplane. We get a lot of requests to go to the RV clubs when they do the buses. A lot of people think this is a bus where we just made the nose look like an airplane until we show them, this is a real airplane that, we converted it over. The really neat thing from the airplane point of view is most kids, I'm very lucky that I get to work at an airport and I'm around airplanes, but most kids don't get to touch an airplane or be that close. So whenever you take somebody, you're downtown Chicago getting gas and you take a kid and put him up in the cockpit of an airplane, he can touch it and, they love it. And more women seem to like it than men. It's just amazing.
I'll say this, seeing the Fabulous Flamingo coming down the road towards you would sure get this woman's attention. Thanks, Gino, for the tour. We're Mike and Jen. Happy trails, everyone.